Alright, and we're live. I hope. Good morning, everyone. We are going to be watching the Blitz Battle low bracket finals. I'm very excited. I just always have a million things to double check and make sure. Sending links. There's always just a tiny bit to get ready, so give me 1 second to make sure we're good to go. Share. Copy link. Blitz Battle Season 20 low bracket finals. Now live. Here and here and thanks. And then I quickly go in here. I really should find a faster way to do this setup. Pop out chat in case anyone wants to come join us and have a little chat while we're playing. Okay, here, okay. Alright, I think we're good to go. That looks like a game. My face is in the game. Alright. Okay. Yeah, I don't actually know if anyone's awake during this time of the day. Most of us are actually sleeping, so this might end up being more of a recording. Alright, so welcome everyone. Here's the bracket. We are watching the Rapid Battle lower bracket finals here. You can see here lower bracket finals. mynameismund and versus somerapidplayer. Okay, here they go. They're live. mynameismund is white. As you can see, they've played before as well. 2.5, 2.5 scoreline. Queen's side. Could be a queen's pawn opening into, yeah, Catland. Alright, so white's playing a Catland, black's playing a variation of the, I call it a variation of the kid, where they open up with a, the opposite side. Pawns instead, so a little bit like a Caracan against the e4, but obviously not. And white decides to exchange. Alright, so all very symmetrical at this point. Let's see where we go to. For those of us who haven't watched this before, so the Blitz Battle is one of the leagues that we have inside the... Pretty bad in Rapid. Oh no, come on, somerapidplayer. You are somerapidplayer. Blitz Battle is one of the side leagues we have inside the 45-45 community, and this is currently the 20th edition of the Blitz Battle series, so this is something that other community members just decided to start up inside the community, and it's been going for quite a while. And this is one of the beauties of this community, is that you can start up something that you want to do if someone else isn't already doing it. So really, really comfortable to be able to do that. And so we're currently, as I said, in the lower bracket finals. So these two players are trying to see who will progress up into the upper bracket final to actually play in the finals again. And this will be 4 games, 10 plus 10, and if it's required, we will have 3 plus 2 tiebreaks as well. But I don't know, do we want it to go to 3 plus 2? It can be quite hairy in those cases, and potentially a little bit hard to commentate on. Good morning, Jim. Good to see you around, man. Yeah, it's the same. It's the first time for me to properly watch as well, but they said that they have it running, and I was like, oh, I gotta go watch that a little bit, so I thought I would come past. But the timing is a little bit rough. I actually don't think most of our members are awake this time of day, so we'll have to see. Let's see. Somerapidplayer is giving us a bit of a comment here, so he's saying, yeah, he's not playing too good in Rapid recently. And he does know that white mynameismund has played a game in this position, but he didn't really analyze it because he wasn't bothered to. His book also covers 8 knight c3. So instead of white jumping up, just developing the other knight, that's definitely what I would have done. I don't think knight e5 in this position gives me anything. And I can see black is just going for the symmetry gambit, just playing exactly what white is playing. Yeah, some rapid player says, when in doubt, copy your opponent. I don't personally think that's the greatest strategy. I think that after a while of copying, white gets an advantage because they go first. So there are positions where black ends up putting themselves in a little bit of a problem if you end up just copying white's moves one for one the whole time. But I don't know if that would happen in this situation as such. I guess the one move I can see from knight e5 maybe for white is to put the knight back on d3. This is something that you can do in a few different positions, but it's nice to have a knight that can cover and jump up to both of these squares. Alright, and white's also saying if we don't trade that knight. I'm going to trade it for you. So here we can start seeing those differences come out. So if black goes here, does it still go symmetrical? Take, take. Q jump anyway useful. Take, 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 take. Now that would still be symmetrical, I guess. Maybe something like a queen takes would potentially break the symmetry because black can't do the same move. They have to react to it instead. But I guess a minor piece change could still be symmetrical. Otherwise, okay, I feel like I'm making more whispers because I know this is being streamed. Yeah, sorry. I actually told the players I'm going to be streaming this because I wanted them to wait a second while I started up the stream. So, okay, black does decide just to keep symmetrical indeed. Jim, what are you saying? What you got? 3 plus 2, Ninatara, Maurice, Ashley, no. Oh, okay. I mean, okay, so um, I don't think I'm going to be that excited. Maurice Ashley maybe has a high tension voice in those positions. I'm a little bit more of a relaxed person, but we'll see. I like a little bit of time travel now and then, so we'll see what happens. I'm just going to quickly drop over to Slack just to make sure no one got confused. No one is confused. Okay, some rapid. Okay, but it says Blitz Battle on the... Oh, okay, nope, my mistake. Alright guys, I called it Blitz Battle, but that's a mistake. I'll have to fix that afterwards, actually. Oh, and I also realized I've got the wrong header. You can see how incredibly ready I am. Leeches Rapid Battle Season 20 Lower Bracket Finals. Here we go. Oh goodness, okay. This is awesome. We've got the... We're about to get some serious Japanese culture in here. Yeah. Okay, for you who don't know, in New Year's in the Nagasaki area there's this. Furin, if you guys need to do this, just do this, it's okay. Okay, never mind, we skipped it. Alright, let's go back to the game then. Alright, indeed just a symmetrical setup. So I live in Japan and I'm back visiting in-laws in the Nagasaki prefecture. And Nagasaki has a strong influence from Europe and China. And so for New Year's, one of the things they do in this area is that they use what do you call it? Like they wear the dragon, like there's one person in the front and one in the back, and they kind of wear the costume of the dragon. And it's supposed to like keep the house safe and a few other things, I think. But they do like a dance and there's some drums. And currently there's a group of people now going around the neighborhood doing that for all the people in the area, all the houses in this area. So they came to say they can do it, but I think we're not ready to receive them here today. So a little bit of a different situation. But normally they would come in. It's normally, I think, maybe like 2 or 3 parents who actually own the whole setup, and then they just rope in all their kids going on holiday, and some of the kids are dancing and some of the kids are drumming and some of the kids are like throwing something. It's a lot of fun, but really small children normally get super scared because the costume of the dragon is quite large. Anyway, still incredibly symmetrical. Both players have taken the second knight, so what, now they can both take a rook as well. So ideally what you want to get, maybe this. You just want to create some imbalance when there's the good opportunity for it. But maybe this isn't it. Take here. I mean, we're still just going symmetrical all the way. If you go here and I go here, there's no checks. Desperado. Okay, knight g6. Okay, and this is where things get different. So now I think black has also realized. So if they go here, then white can take one more extra pawn with check, and then they can take black's knight. So perfect symmetry. does not pay off, guys. Be careful when you do this. I also think that maybe the the stream name is incorrect, but I actually don't think I can change that. So that's just actually gonna have to just stay the way it is. I'll see. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think I've made a little bit of a mistake with the situation. Jim, most of the other viewers don't speak Japanese, man. I'm gonna read it, but I'm gonna keep talking English so you can type it English as well. Jim is Filipino and speaks pretty good Japanese, but lives in the US, is it? Alright, here we go. Yeah, okay, so black realized they can't keep on copying. They're just gonna lose a pawn, and they don't want to lose this pawn because it isolates their d pawn. White takes back with their king, keeping their bishop nice and out in the open. Although, I don't know, I guess it's fine. The king can be here. It's probably slightly less safe than on g2 because you can't get off your back rank so easily. Alright, so finally we have a little bit of imbalance. So I remember my lessons learned from last match were that I really need to slow down, but so far I haven't really been doing that. I don't know, I don't think you guys are playing too fast. 6, 7, 8 minutes on the clock. Some rapid player still has the most time on the clock. I see the flair here for mynameismund is a boot, and rapid player's got a penguin. Very nice. So what? White develops. Yeah, black now actually hemmed in their light square bishop, so I don't know if they maybe want to play it out onto this diagonal. Normally this hits a rook, but that rook is already gone. Oh, they're actually going to do it just kind of manually, maybe. Fair enough. That's acceptable, but I would say black is, besides just up a pawn, a little bit up in kind of general activity. You know, they've got one bishop clearly shooting straight through, the other one hitting a pawn, and black's got one hitting a pawn, and one of them just kind of on an inferior diagonal. Nothing losing as yet, but clearly white is slightly better. This move, I understand it. Obviously, you're solidifying the middle and so on, but I'm not a fan of, trapping the bishop on the other side of the pawn chain. So now, just developing. But at any point, if you can play something like this, or in this way, then this bishop is toast. So you're going to have to sack it for a piece, or sack it for some pawns or something. So, I don't know, white might have to take a little bit of care that their bishop doesn't get completely stranded out on the outside. Okay, h5, interesting. They're trying to push. This would still block, so I guess this is just to kind of protect their bishop a little bit. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a different situation now. Black has taken, shall we say, some control on the queen side. White has spent additional moves making this structure happen, which I'm not the biggest fan of, to be honest. I don't know. Okay, we'll see. And here's an easy way to get rid of the queen. This obviously hits the white queen, but they can push it away. They can also just jump their queen up somewhere. Not the biggest deal. Here I can take, you only have one rook. You can't put your rook on the b file. So a little bit of a situation. Oh, you're not Filipino? Oh shit, man, sorry. I thought you thought I was Filipino. As you can see, very just casual Caucasian. Sorry about that. It's not the year of the snake. No, no, no. It's just a New Year's tradition in the Nagasaki prefecture area. Oh, I did see it's the year of the snake recently. Oh, interesting. So white actually decided to drop their b pawn. Check here. Now black can take this, but then they would get counterplay on the 7th rank with their rook that side. So a little bit tricky. Sidetracked owl in the chat. Hello, sidetracked owl. Black does take the pawn. So what do you do after this? Are you just going to take the other pawn and give white some activity? Yeah, it's like time to be greedy, black admits. Not so sure about this. I mean, maybe. Here, here, here. I guess this is a nice trick, actually. Check this out. White can't even take. Yeah, exactly. If you do this here and they take, then you've got rook c1, which is protected by your queen, which pins the white queen to the king. That is pretty crushing. So, although this looked kind of bad, it seems that it's actually a little bit more tricky than that, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, wait, so Jim, if you're not Filipino, can I just say you're American? Does that make more sense? I don't know if you guys can hear the drums in the background. They're doing the dance somewhere else. This channel has been mostly chess so far, by the way, but we'll be putting in a bit of Japan content soon again as well. Okay, White just says, no, get off. We're equal, I'll trade you. Black can put, they can put their rook here, I think. They can also do this, but that's kind of losing. But they can put their rook here, just protecting the queen and keeping the 7th rank activity going. Which is a little, yep, and they do it. A little bit uncomfortable for White, I would say. What to do? What to do? How can White get out of this bind? I think Black has ended up with a stronger position, actually. Okay, White says, fair enough, let's trade. I would be careful about pushing the pawn, because they can tick it on this. Although you can kind of hit it there. Okay. White making use of the more active bishop. I guess that's the other thing, like Black can stop this bishop now. What would you do? I guess you would take, because you can't double defend it. You probably don't really want to lose it. If you don't take, they take. If you put here, they take twice. I think this is actually a move for Black. Just immediately opposing that dark square bishop on that diagonal. Yeah, and with this activity now, they are looking pretty good. Where's this buddy going though? Out here? Out here? Just, I don't know. I mean, yeah, White wasn't moving this pawn, I assumed. Maybe they are. Maybe they wanted to do this. And then that would fall. Oh my goodness. It's such a quick way so many things have turned around. Okay, yeah, fair move. Getting it a bit more active, potentially also just giving your king a chance to get off the back rank. Definitely worth it. Oof, 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 oof. Yeah, man, Japan is small. There's a lot. Although, yeah, you say that, but I mean, you still have to go quite a ways to go from one place to the other. Actually, the next video I'm gonna post that's Japan content is actually just kind of a short kind of clip showing how me and the wife get to visit her family, because we can't go directly and it's on an island, so depending on which route we choose, planes or trains and or ferries or cars, it still takes quite a while, but it's a little bit different depending on the route. Okay, Black again just deciding, cool, I'll just do this. I don't know, I feel like this was a move for Black. Just opposing instantly, because if you trade off, then you've got a 2-on-1 here. White's got a bad bishop, a bad bishop as in it can only come out here because your pawns are covering the space. If you push, you can just take back with your king. I don't know, White would have to swing over to the king side with their own rook maybe, but then this falls. Yeah, I feel like in the last two moves actually, White could have just opposed straight away and been slightly better. Oh, Black, what am I saying? And do 4 bishop endgames are cool. 4 bishop endgames are interesting for sure. It's one of the it's very endgamey, right? It's one of those things where each pawn exactly where it is ends up making a big difference. Who's attacking, who's defending, which bishops are able to move around but not hit anything, but then potentially you can kind of hurt the opponent's king or kind of keep it out of positions you don't want it to go to. So for instance, this right now is stopping Black's king from coming into the game here, and their own bishop is in the way, so they can't in here, but then all of these squares are taken away, so, and then this one as well actually, so like this, there's no real way to get into the position with the king yet. Too many bishops on the board. That said, it's a 10 plus 10, White's got to move. 2.5 minutes left. You don't get nearly enough time to be sitting here forever. White needs to make a plan. I wonder what to do. Black's got pressure on this pawn. Black's got what activity around this pawn, but I guess I mean what's black gonna do here? Break through? You can't really. You can make a passer, I guess. It's still a bit hard to actually break through. Alright, white's gonna be pushing the one side of the board that is a bit weak. So I mean even if they trade here, not bad, but I don't know. Is there enough for them to swing their rook over? I don't think so. There's no way for the rook to land. Oh, okay, no. You have to go all the way back onto this diagonal before you can bring your rook over in a meaningful way. Unless you just come over this side now. But then they can take this pawn. It's kind of dangerous. Pretty dangerous. What to do, what to do. Yeah, I mean, I can hear you. Giving up the pawn for activity isn't nothing, but I don't know. And I understand the point. I just don't know what the activity is, because I guess the C file activity is okay. The H file activity is kind of nothing right now, because all those squares are covered off. You can't do anything with your rook. So yeah, I don't know. I've got a little bit of pressure here and here, although this obviously can get pushed away. I doubt White is going to be wanting to cement there. I'm sorry, I say push away, but obviously the pawn would fall. So both these kings are kind of tied to the f pawn now. But White still has an incredibly inactive rook. Would this happen? If you came over, would... Oh, but they can't do it, because if they oppose, then you just come onto the b file. And you attack this, and if it moves, what, you can hit the bishop. Yeah, but you would eventually be kind of giving up your pawn, because it won't be protected all the time. Oh, interesting. Black finds a way to just lock up the file completely. No entrance for you, White. Okay, they're coming over. They can come to here. I mean, here there's a check. Come over, block again. But also then there's a check like this. Ooh, this looks dangerous. If here, I guess White could still oppose. If they didn't and they moved over, you could check. They'd have to drop their pawn, because otherwise you could go somewhere else and take their rook. Okay, White does decide to bring back. Maybe they saw that there was some problems down that file, down that diagonal. Ooh. Rook c1, c7, talking f7, hope for checkmate. Yeah, that's obviously didn't happen, unfortunately. Oh, this is interesting. I would say, though, that black is better. They've got both of their bishops on the active side. They've got their rook on that side as well, and they've got these passes. Well, these connected pawns that can make a passer. And white's additional pawn, unfortunately, is on the king side, which is currently not really opening up in any meaningful way. Are you really going to let black keep on pushing their pawns? Isn't this dangerous? I guess there's a point where it just doesn't matter anymore. They're trying to make sure the king can't walk in here at some point. Dangerous. Wonder if black wants to liquidate the center to open up the board a bit. Get more access to the king in some way. Dangerous. Tell me I have got the right... I do. It says blitz. Oh, it says rapid battle. I got it right now. Perfect stuff. Alright. Alright, white. Where are you going with this bishop now? I guess an easy one is to put it back here. Protected by your king. Your king is doing a lot though. Oh, okay. Decide to keep it active against the king's side. Rook b2. Bishop d3, draw agreed. I know you don't have to, obviously. I'm just kind of talking. How can white win this? So white can never... So this is the thing that black's gotten done now. They've blocked off white's entrance, so white has no presence behind them, and all the pawns can keep moving forward happily and safely. Meanwhile, white's king can't run up because the f pawn needs to take protected. And if you move back to push it up, then your king is just completely cut off. Yo, 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 yo. I guess you could do this, and then if the rook was on the other side, you could do this. And then you could move back up. Move back up. But I don't know, that, that doesn't feel like a good strategy. Feels like a losing game here. Oh, 4 minutes for black. Come on, black. So, Jim, if you're not Filipino, do I just call you some American? I don't know if you answered my question. Why did I think? I thought you were Filipino. Everyone's Filipino all of a sudden, I guess. I don't know. I have been to the Philippines a few times though. It's super nice. I'm quite a fan of Asia and Southeast Asia in general. Um, some people would say they don't like the fact that all the countries aren't very organized or very clean and everything isn't first world, but honestly, some of those trips have been the most memorable and amazing for me, so I would definitely recommend people to visit. And Philippines has got some amazing beauty. Black does decide to liquidate the center. This also obviously um, takes white's bishop out of the activity this side. So the trick here obviously is if you push, I probably push first, hitting your king. Your king has to go somewhere. If you go back here, maybe then I take here, or I take here. Actually, maybe I'll take, if you take, I push and I take here, because then I'm threatening to take with my rook. So this could be really dangerous for white if they decide to take. And if they decide not to take, they're still in danger, so it's really dangerous for them either way. I think black has found a really smart way to break through here. If they take, I push, and black's like, screw it, I'm gonna sack. They can still take. Actually, in whatever version, as soon as they push with the check, they can take here, threatening this first. Very dangerous. Because this, I think, would spell potential doom for them. Alright. Probably you're gonna move back to defend your f-pawn, right? But then they're gonna take and threaten to take it anyway. In which case, what do? Push past for a check. If the king moves down, you take and you're trying to run a pawn up the board. Oh, this could get down to the wire. Look at this line here. Take, push up, king down, take there. You can't do this because oh no, because I'm just faster. Oh man. What in the world? Caucasian, American Caucasian, sure man, all good. I don't remember what your voice gave me an image of. EXF, DX3, Bishop F4. Bishop F4. I mean, I quite liked... Oh no, he decided to go fast. I really liked this idea. Push, and when the king goes, you can't go here, right? So you can basically run a pawn, either take or run a pawn. Alright. White's pawn structure is just crumbled. Who is it better for though? This is so tricky. Because this is not about the amount of pawns. This is about who could maybe push a pawn past or get mated at the back. So, alright, pawn is completely stuck. Do you push past at this point? Can this mate your king? Okay, defending it. I think that was very necessary. This bishop's gonna hang if you push past, I guess. And if you push past you're queening on the wrong square. My idea for that didn't work out after all. Or at least they didn't play it. Hyo. King down, yeah, they're looking to come in for a mate. Here. Here you can't come down because I can take it. If you check me, I take your pawn anyway. Like here, you don't have anything. Okay, getting off the line with the rook. So now if you take here, as an example, take, check, down one. Ooh. Okay, there's also a check down this. Oops, sorry. Here comes the king. Absolutely no space. If I check you here, it's mate. You can't stop. Well, it's basically mate. You're getting kind of crushed. Some rapid player played bishop v8. Oh no no, sorry, white played that. Yeah, I think white was thinking to get an active piece down or to try and push up here, but I think white is just getting crushed. Yeah, here, here, there, there. GG. Found a beautiful mate. Alright. Rematch offered, rematch accepted. I have to go and follow these people along, so let me go here. Playing. Here we go. Alright, so one up for some rapid player. Now playing white. These guys are going quick. E4, E5. Okay, we're playing backwards. D5. Takes. Bishop out. Alright. Interesting way to play. I actually don't know what this is called. I'm gonna say like it's kind of like a backwards Petrov. What would you call this? Ah, is this the Vienna game? Ah, okay, yeah. Falkbeer, mice is interesting. Okay. I haven't played the Vienna game myself, so it's a little bit unknown to me. Okay, you take back with the B pawn to give your... What? To give your dark square bishop these options? Is that really a thing? Alright, castle. Rook over, attacking that pawn. Bishop out, defending the pawn. This looks like the kind of pawn structure you play when you're playing rapid. This is not looking so solid for anyone. Here I can stop you from castling now. Yeah, I feel like this might be a problem for black. Now you can't castle, or you lose this. Um, yeah, I agree with white. Stopping castle does it. Oh, okay. Might castle long and just throw the pawns. That could be interesting. Very interesting. Could try and trade down here. Could pin, oh okay, could have pinned anyway, but could pin the knight to the queen, which would help defend this. Interesting stuff. Bishop d3, GG. Yeah, you saw it, right? Okay. For white, honestly, I feel they're a little bit spoiled for choice here. The way that the game is set up. This is obvious, a thing. Okay, they're saying they've got an idea of putting here and after castling long, then they take knight x e5. And they're gonna go for it. The point being that this knight is also hanging. And if it's not hanging, then you open up against the b7 pawn. So you can trade everything and then get mate right here. That is a gorgeous find, man. Rapid player really has their head screwed on straight. Check it out here. If black castles, you take, they take, you take, mate. Dangerous. Very dangerous. Difficult for black. What to do? I thought they could find a way to... Oh, yeah. This was my point. I thought that they could either trade off or pin the knight to save this, and then they can come back, oppose, and play f6. I actually play f6 in some variations when I've got my light square bishop behind the pawn like this. It feels fairly safe, kind of like it's doable. We'll have to see. Rook xe, just forcing it basically, yeah. Knight x, rook x. I mean, you have to take twice, so I guess whichever way. Okay, black sees it. Although this does mean that the knight is kind of soft now, so even white can play up to just b5 could be problematic. I guess black could push them away. This would be a lot of weakness though. Then you could probably go here. You probably don't want to run your queen around that much though, so maybe you don't go queen b5. I mean, in this case, don't you want to just crash everything, just crack it open? Push down, push up, take anyway. Yeah, because now the rook is hanging. So you would end up just winning a bit of something. The wrong bishop might get trapped here. That's not good to get your light good bishop trapped. So here, 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 here. c6, trying to trap the bishop. Yeah, white sees bishop queen b5. But I mean, like I said, I think that just gets pushed off. I don't know what do you do after this. I mean, you can oppose queens if that's a thing. Take castle, you can take... I don't know, this pawn structure here is kind of bizarre. I probably would have taken the other way to get my bishop out this way, although, obviously this has turned out great. What do you do after a6? Hmm. No, that's not equal. Say, for instance, you take here. That's just bad. That is just bad, 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 bad. I really want to push the d4 pawn. Just want to get active. I don't like this structure personally. I'm very uncomfortable with it. Oh, interesting. Okay. Black's not going to push. They're just going to force you to kind of trade off. I guess if you trade off some more pieces, then the actual pressure here kind of dissipates a bit. They can play king d7 protecting the knight, or they can just move the rook out of the way, or they can still castle, I guess, at that point, because the knight would retake. There's nothing hanging behind it. Anything silly you want to do? Here, stopping the castling still. And then you've got, basically, if the queen's safe, this queen has to move again, because you can do this. So any move that makes the queen safe is probably a potential option. Yeah, I like that as well. Stopping black here, and basically any move uncovers versus the queen. So I can take here, I can jump, whatever I want to do. I don't think any other move is appealing. I think taking the pawn is obviously the most appealing, because you also double... Actually, yeah, taking the pawn is crushing here, because you double attack the knight via, like through the queen. And after you take with the bishop there, you're hitting the rook. Oh, this is not good. I don't think this move was good for black at all. Very, very tricky stuff. Yeah. I'm looking both. So you can see your chat running over the overlay that I'm streaming, right? But I read your chat in here in OBS, and then I tab out back to the game to see what they're writing inside Lichess as well, just to try and keep updated on every side. We want to try and keep a little bit related to everything. I don't want to miss something interesting. And also, there's only so many people chatting right now, so it's kind of easy to follow, versus if I don't, then there's just kind of things passing me by that I kind of wish they saw. Jim, isn't it like 5 a.m. your side or something, by the way? It must be middle of the night. I appreciate you're here, by the way. Super happy, but just thinking it's no good for you. Black has to... Could you push... So the thing is, white's now threatening to come in here, and then you have to move the rook, and like things might not be so nice. This pawn is also weak. So I was thinking maybe white plays here, but that pawn won't survive. After this and here, then everything's just hit again. After this, after this. Yeah, it's looking dangerous. For black, I mean, you don't want to jump your king into d7, that's crazy. But you need to move your queen, actually that's the main point. So white did this and it's uncomfortable, but what if you just move back now? Look here. Just get out of the way. 9:45 p.m. Wow, we are so far apart, you were just living at night. Okay, nice. Oh no man, chat with me in YouTube. It's better for the stream. I appreciate reading there more than I appreciate trying to read in Lichess because it's got all the prepended points on, which is great for afterwards, but for meanwhile, because I'm reading, it's just, I almost said like, what's the word? Gucha gucha. Anyway, it's busy. There's a lot going on here. The YouTube chat is a little bit more clean. Oh, black, what to do? Honestly, I think you just run the queen back. You either run the queen back, or you... No, but if you trade queens, then they can just take your pawn for free. But I guess, yeah, being a pawn down is better than what this situation currently looks like. Yeah, so I would actually maybe queen ace... it's not pretty. Queen a5. If they run away... can you... Like, oh man, if they run away, they're hitting everything. Oh, it's not good. It's not good at all. If I jump out of the way... What if I do this? Okay, here. Maybe this is the best move I got. Because if you jump your thing, I can take your queen, you take my queen. And then I just close up. Ah, it's still really ugly. Oh man, I think black really just ran into such a tricky situation here. Amazing on white to see this idea here coming across. I was going to put a rook there. I didn't even think about putting the queen that side. That's very different. Gocha indeed. What you saying? What you got? Queen c4. Queen c4. Ah, okay, I see what you mean. Queen b7, rook b8. Yeah, I think the rook b8 point is going to come, but the point is that you can lose the c pawn as well. Which means that then there's like potential mates in the back on the second rank there if your bishop has to move anywhere. I don't know. It's really tricky, hey? 13 e4. What you got? e4. e4. I looked at e4. I don't think it holds though. Don't think it holds. If I jump my knight anywhere, that pawn is double attacked. And if you try to protect it again, I've got d3 just kind of taking the pawn. You can't protect it that long. Or do you think you would follow up with a bit of time? So e4, maybe I jump my knight somewhere. Then you what? How do you protect this pawn again? I don't know, with your bishop here, here. You can't... Oh man, this is so tricky. Tricky. Queen c4 it is. I don't know, here... don't know what you're gonna do. Note to self. Okay, I guess some rapid players whispering notes to themselves for after the game, because obviously they can't see what they just wrote. If queen x d5, where's d5? If 13 queen x d5, what? Oh, if they took the queen. bishop x d5, knight x e5 works. Okay, so they actually think they had a point here of just taking, and then taking here. Because this opens up an attack against the king, and obviously these bishops are looking at each other. Oh yeah, because you could take this with check, and then you could still check here, or something like that. Interesting. Anyway, that didn't happen. They played queen c. I don't know, this just looked like, yeah, white just plays it. I think this is just really rough. That pawn drops. Your king is still stuck in the middle of the board. This is really tough. I would take here. Oh, interesting. I did not see that. But again, this is the great use of this bishop that white's been eyeing the whole game. That's why they brought their queen in on this side. So check this out. You can take, but I check with check, and then I take again. If you don't, then I can take here and it's defended by the knight. Oh man, oh man, oh man. White is crushing here. I don't think there's much hope for black right now. This is really tough. What to do? Take the knight. Black takes the knight. Take, take. Oh, that is rough. So what we got? Two rooks, two rooks. White's just up a queen, guys. This is crashing. Yeah, that's GG. You can't defend it. Here. Alright, on to the next. Rematch accepted. Alright. Some Rapid Player is playing more than just some Rapid games. They are crashing today. Especially that second game. Alright, here we go again. Let's have a look. D4 opening. Now it's a must-win for white. mynameismund still has to get a point on the board. C4, this is very, so this is the same. This is the same that happened in the first game. They played here, they symmetricaled. Okay, so white is playing into the exact same moves they did the previous game. Here again. And they developed their knight last time in the first game. So I guess white feels that they have some improving line upon this. They did win a pawn, right? So it looked like they were better, but then black's activity on the queen side just crushed them. Okay, but we are still following the first game exactly. First game black did this. And then they took take, and then black realized that they would lose an additional pawn, so they just took back. And the structure was different. Yeah, they took with their knight this way, white did. And black took with their pawn there. That's where the two knights ended up dying. After all the jumping around. Yeah, no, that was crushing. That second game, goodness me, white just crushed. That was really, really strong. Alright, we're still following the first game. I mean, it turned out okay for white. I actually think they were better. They did win a pawn. They just weren't able to keep everything together on the queen side. So maybe they feel like they can just improve. They can find a way to just make that a better version of what it was last time. We'll have to see. Still, that second game was crushing. I was gonna say remind me not to play the Vienna, but I just won't play e5 versus e4. I feel like it's better to play the Sicilian. I don't know. Alright. Slightly different now. So black deviates. Last time they also took symmetrically, but this time they just dropped their pawn. Okay, so the point is now I give you a pawn, but either you give me this tiny diagonal in front of your king, or you lose your fianchettoed. Okay, so you're either, so white wins a pawn at the expense of their light square bishop. I am talking out of my... White does not win a pawn, and black has taken their light square bishop. Alright, so in this situation, we like... I think we like black again, to be honest. Just because they're the one with the right bishop. Obviously now in this situation, they're also developed further. So white just has to what? You can't push, you lose this, you have to just drop back. Black is going to bring out the rooks, I guess. Here, the dark square bishop can come out, but where to go? And there's pressure here. Okay, just covering the e-pawn. You see here that e-pawn was actually hanging, but black didn't take it. Covering the e-pawn. Pressure on the queen side. Yo. Alright. Black says, give me that trade. Why would that be good? So black obviously defending their b-pawn already, right? Also, if you trade, I can bring out my other rook. And over here. And then I've got all the activity. I've got pressure down your file. Your e-pawn is still hanging. This pawn would be traded for it, but I also don't have to take it immediately. I can just put my other rook here and start messing around like this. And actually black's got more space and more activity. Okay, white just says no way, let's oppose right away. But black doesn't have to take. Black can just double up and force them to take back. Yeah. And now you have to take. Well, you can move your king, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, you probably want to take though. You can oppose again. This pawn is hanging, so take. And then it's all equal, symmetrical pawn structure. Everyone has a queen and a bunch of pawns. Okay, white doesn't want the symmetry. Dangerous though. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Now black gets onto your second rank. Your f-pawn is really weak. This could be problematic. Never mind. Black says, all good, let's trade. Slightly in... is like, well, I mean, it's basically symmetrical, right? It's just e3 versus no e3. And currently black's got a more active queen than white. I feel like white might even go back to the same move they were just on. Just put the queen over here to pressure the file. The queen side pawns are the ones that are weakest, so you're trying to get some way to... So there's no checks, right? So white could get a check here, but that doesn't hit anything. You want to hit some of these pawns at the same time, right? Trying to find a way to... Well, hit them at the same time, or fork them versus with the king. Take. Isolated pawn wouldn't be winning, would it? Tricky stuff. Okay, pushing up the pawns first, so keeping the queen at the back. As things go, I guess, even if they draw twice, black still wins, so white has to win. If they draw this, yeah, white has to win. They have to play for a win. They can't draw. It's still a loss for them then. Stopping the pawns right there. Oh, I'm still acting sleepy. Alright. Black's king is just such a nuisance. It's hitting your pawn. Obviously you've got a fork here now. You can win a pawn. That might be good. But there's still checks in there. Like you can check. If you go up, I can check again. You can't move because you drop. If you move backwards, I can come in and attack this pawn. And I can still... Yo, I think this is very difficult to win. Black sees the fork and just says no thank you. And there's no entrance yet because that that e7 pawn is still defended. White's access is blocked off. What do you do after this though? Then you have to put your queen back. So the point is, if you use your king, eventually black's gonna find a point where they can just perpetual you, and then it's over. Alright, black player says that they feel like the only side that actually has a winning chance would be themselves actually at this point, but it's probably a draw. I'm almost certain it is objectively a draw, but then chess for a lot of the times are, so let's not worry too much about that until we see if the players can find it. And goodness me, I'm yawning a lot. Yo, my sleep pattern has become a bit of a mess. And it's not because of all the green tea that the grandma tries to give me, although she drinks so much green tea and it's so strong. But I guess that's why she's still living so healthily at this age. Green tea is magic, guys. Alright, white trying to get a bit more active. This does not stop black from just checking your king though. If you go up, I can check. If you go back, I can run here attacking this pawn. It's gonna be perpetual one way or another. Because then I can perpetual you here or here. Oh, this is really difficult for white to be able to find a win here. I'm hitting this pawn. Now just hitting everything on the back rank. And this pawn. Oh, no. So you have to move your king in. And then I just check you again. Here, 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 here. We're gonna find a perpetual here somewhere. I think it's too difficult to find a win in this position. How to do it? I don't know if it's possible, guys. I don't think there's a win in this position, unfortunately. Your king is too open. Too many squares that can get forked. Check. Black just has to make a threat or check. So this is the current diagonal, but they can do stuff on other diagonals too. White can't oppose with their queen because their b-pawn is also hanging. All they can do is move their king. Check again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get out of the way. Back, yeah. Black just found the perfect continuation. They can't... White can't avoid a draw. If they don't draw, they just lose. Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough. You can't defend that pawn with your queen while also defending your b-pawn. So either losing a pawn in a queen-pawn ending, which is pretty bad, or you're taking a draw, I think. Oh, mynameismund doesn't want to, still wants to try find... I mean, okay, no, threefold repetition, GG. Didn't find it, and that wraps it up, guys. So that was the lower bracket final. Let's just run over to the bracket quickly. So you see here, Silk the Wanderer was beaten by somerapidplayer coming out of the bottom bracket. So somerapidplayer just beat mynameismund. mynameismund dropped out in the upper bracket against Akshak. And so somerapidplayer is now just taken out mynameismund. So they will face Akshak in the grand finals. And hopefully we will be here to enjoy that as well. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed it. Jim, thanks a lot for all the chats. I appreciate having you around, man. No Nepo situation. No, I don't think we'll get that kind of stuff in our things here. So be safe. Have a nice sleep that side. I hope you have a good evening, yeah? And well done to both players. This was a good game. That Vienna game in game 2 was amazing. I don't know how that happened, but that was something to witness. So I think there's a lot to lose, a lot to learn here.